Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Robert Downey Jr.
I understand. I'm with you. I feel it too. In an effort to burn as much time as the rest of the presenters this evening, I'm going to stand here silently for 7 minutes before I begin my introduction. Did you see my Mercedes parked out front? Did y'all get a look at that? That's what you call preferred parking. And you'd think with the amount of money that Cartier spent on that ad, they could give me this watch rather than ask for it back at 7:30 in the morning, don't you? That's all right, I got 3 of them. We got to get through this. My chopper's idling on the roof. For our purposes here tonight, an icon is a person or thing regarded as representative of a symbol of something, as in this iron-jawed icon of American manhood. He has been referred to as the American Olivier, though Sir Lawrence may well be remembered as the British Duvall. If one pauses to consider the diversity of characters he's portrayed in The Godfather, MASH, Network, Apocalypse Now, Tender Mercies, Lonesome Dove, The Apostle, Get Low, and recently The Judge, it becomes clear that Robert Duvall is like us, but he's different. He has always gone his own way. He's never hit a false beat. He has an unmatched ability to transcend performance, to listen, learn, and make us feel things. Billy Bob Thornton puts it like this: he's going to do it his way, and if you don't like it, you can kiss his ass. James Caan is a bit more direct in his observations. He's a lunatic, and I love him for it. I'd be remiss if I didn't add that I found him easygoing and collaborative, and that he rarely raised his soft, warm, reassuring voice. Except when he did. Robert Duvall can do anything, and he's far from done. Let's please direct our attention to the silver screen.
I love the smell of napalm in the morning. It smells like victory. Stand by for a fighter pilot. I am the great Santini.
Some of the other families won't sit still.
Your
father would want to hear this. This is business, not personal.
You're not hungry, are you?
Ravenous. How about you?
For you, Margaret.
Oh, there he is, Mr. Tate.
I don't know why you helped me to straighten out, marry me. And Sonny's daddy died in the war. My daughter killed in an automobile accident. Why? You see, I don't trust happiness. I never did, I never will.
Tom, you're my brother.
I always wanted to be thought of as a brother by you. Mikey, real brother.
You're the only one I can completely trust.
Nobody down here has anything on me. Not unless you find a weapon in my hand and a dead body, and that's not going to happen.
The truth. I thought we were talking about a court of law. You've been around long enough to know that the courtroom isn't the place to look for the truth.
I've got some goddamn surprises for you, too, Schumacher. I've had it up to here with your credit division and its annual $33 million deficit.
Keep your hands off my news division, Frank.
Well, goddamn, we'll see about that.
Now, Cole, when you shift the gear and that little needle on the tack goes into the red and reads 9,000 RPM, that's bad.
I came here to hunt Chama, not kill people in cold blood.
I told you before I don't have time for court hearing. If these people want to fight me, then I'll blow them straight to hell.
I love you, Lord. Give it to me tonight, Lord God Jehovah. If you won't give me back my wife, give me peace. Give it to me, give it to me, give it to me, give me peace.
I mean to kill you in 1 minute, Ned. I call that bold talk for a one-eyed fat man.
You need a funeral.
For whom?
Me.
It ain't dying I'm talking about. It's living.
Charlie, don't surf! You and I are finally done.
Oh, we're not done.
Yeah, we're done.
You're done when you answer my question.
No.
Answer it.
No, you're not my lawyer. You're not my lawyer.
You were on the stand as a witness. Answer my question.
Of sound mind and body, and it's none of your goddamn business.
Sit down, Wyatt.
None!
Wyatt.
Please welcome the recipient of the 2015 Icon Award. This is generally where people stand up. Robert Duvall.
On the way in tonight, everybody was congratulating me on being an icon and so forth and so on, right down the line. And I got towards the end, and some young woman said, "Why are you an icon?" I said, "I don't know, ask Downey." And I don't even know what an icon is, but I guess if I go to the dictionary, I can find out, and maybe both our pictures will be there. Yeah, both of them. It's interesting because I was here a few years ago with a low-budget film called Get Low. We were very proud of it. Everybody says that the golden age of the 70s is no longer. They're wrong because the big films have moved in, and the independent films now embrace these wonderful small films. And Get Low was one of them. And it was very important to me because if I hadn't have done that, I would have never gotten the judge. Because the Downeys and David Dobkin, with the blessings of, Warner Brothers, saw what I did in that movie, and that gave me the judge. And I was very grateful for that because, little films help big films, and it's a small community that way. It's very special. I also want to thank Greg Silverman, Ms. Valente, Dan Abrams, and especially the wonderful Sue Crow for helping us make this all happen and supporting this movie so beautifully. I want to thank them for that. And I also want to get a little emotional. Usually they pay me for that. But anyway, I want to thank my parents for pushing me into acting. They were then to push me into acting in a small school in Southern Illinois, Principia College. My father was a professional naval officer. He went to the Naval Academy when he was 16 years old. And they were the ones, for whatever reasons, that I was doing terribly in academically in a small college. So I went from that turmoil to another kind of turmoil into the acting business, and I had to find my way because when I was young, we were less sophisticated than the young people now, and I was very naive in everything. I don't know why my parents even suggested that. Maybe because, we did skits around the house, imitations and everything. The only thing I knew about theater or drama was cowboys and Indians. We were this big, we were our own horse, you pulled out the weapon, we'd shoot each other, and that's all I knew. And when I grew up, I said I want to be an Indian. And I was shocked and stunned when I found I couldn't be an Indian. You had to be born an Indian. So, okay, I said, that's okay. When I grow up, I'll be a cowboy. So my uncle, at the end of World War II, when my dad was off fighting the Nazis in the Atlantic Ocean, my brother and I went to my uncle and aunt's ranch in northern Montana, and that's where I got my own personal infrastructure or kind of fundamentals in doing, westerns, which is really my favorite medium, really. And my uncle always said that, and he reiterated the fact that I had a natural and a good seat on a horse. So I might say I've done a few smart things in my life and quite a few dumb things. One of the dumbest things I could have done if I didn't take the judge, which I took. I almost didn't, but I did. And one of the smartest things I ever did in my life, I had the choice of one of two parts. I didn't want this part, you could take this part. So I said, I will not take that part. I want the part of Augustus McCrae and Lonesome Dove. And so that was the beginning of the thing of really cowboys and Indians, personified. And I'll tell you about one of the dumbest things I ever did in a minute. But, when young actors come up to me, you're not so young anymore, you're yeah, this guy's great to work with. He's the best. I love his shoes. But whenever young actors come up to me and they say, what do I do to get ahead? I said, you come onto this, you're only a solo on this planet. But if you want to get ahead in this business, you have to get with a group. You really have to operate from a group. Way, way, way back in New York City, it was Dustin Hoffman, me, Gene Hackman, and my wonderful friend who died recently, the director Ulu Grossbard, that we did American Buffalo on Broadway together. We were kind of our own little group, and we helped each other and inspired each other and so forth and so on. And one day I got a call to do my second TV show. It was a Western. So I went up to the Bronx every day, and I'd rent these terrible horses for $3 an hour. They'd rear up, and you have to slap them down. And we took Dusty up there in Ulu, and we'd put him on a horse and hit the horse in the ass, and it'd take off. We had the greatest time ever in New York as a group, which I insist that young actors should follow this concept. So now I practice to get my seat back. It's a few years after my uncle's ranch. They fly me to L.A. for whatever, to get my costume. I was born in San Diego, but it had been a few years since I'd been to California, and it was great coming back, the smells, the visuals, and everything. And from there, we flew to Santa Fe, where we did the movie Route 66. So they addressed me. I played a gunfighter. Like I was playing cowboys and Indians again. It was great as a kid. They dressed me as a in a gunfighter thing with boots and a hat. I looked great with a great pistol. Put me on a wonderful horse, which was a terrific horse there from Santa Fe. And I have a wonderful friend, cowboy, who broke all the cutting horses for the King Ranch. He's a cowboy that I could never be. But he once told me, to be a good cowboy, you ride up, So they said action. I rode up, I pulled up, and before they could say cut, I pulled out my trusty gun and went, and even the horse looked at me. It was crazy. I said, what are you doing? I said, I'm sorry, I was humiliated. I was like back playing cowboys and Indians again. But it was my first Western, And from then on, I did more, and I got a few left, whatever you plan with great love, sometimes something can come around the corner and surprise you that takes over from what you're planning. And that's what Downey's, Susan, and Robert has produced. Experience with the blessings of others. So we're seeing what's new with the season. And my wife, I'm the oldest guy in the house, and my wife may be the most beautiful woman in the house, or one of them. So, you know, we're reading and relaxing in Southern California. She's reading the definitive book on Empire of the Summer Moon. Best book she's ever written. Leo Messi, the great Argentine soccer player. And a guy like Messi has to retire when he's 33 or 34. That's when we just get going, especially if you're a late bloomer like me. Thank God I bloomed enough to do the judge. But anyway, I want to thank everybody for this wonderful award. I'll find a nice place. It's a funny looking thing, isn't it? It's great. It was great, though. But I want to thank everybody. You know, it's a collective thing. Filmmaking is a individual, but a collecting thing with groups that pushes the product forward. And I'm glad I can be a part of this industry because it's a great way to make a living. And thank you very much.